Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs, and today we are going to do the second part of our table placemat, and it's the butterflies and what was that called? The Morning Glory. Morning Glory. All right, so we're going to chain one and turn for row 16. All right, and then we need four. I need four single crochets in a row in this row. Yeah, and so we are going to need blue again. It looks like we need our regular blue, and we need 5 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we need our green. Here. We need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And we're switching back to our blue. And we need 2 blue. So there's 1, and 2, and then switching back to our green. And we need 2 green. So there's 1 and 2. And now we need to bring this light yellow back over here. This way. I'm trying to figure out how not to tangle these, but with so many colors, it's really hard not to tangle these. All right, so we need 10 yellow. These light yellow here was the background yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we need a black. Just 1 black here, and then switching back to our yellow, and we're going to finish this off with 9 yellow at the end here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Perfect. Let's chain 1 and turn. And that is what row 16 looks like. And we're finishing up a flower and starting another one over here. So we're starting this another butterfly on this side. And this time the butterfly is going to be oranges and yellows. So we're going to I'm going to mark off that row 16 and go to row 17. We're going to start out with 5 yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to go to orange. So we're going to bring in orange. And I'm going to do back loops here because we're on the front side. I don't know why I'm holding that yellow. I need 4 orange here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I need to go to black. Switch over to black. And I need 2 black. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need our yellow again. So now we need 8 yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we need our green, which is here. And we need 7 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we're going to bring this yellow back over. And we need 7 yellow. Oh no, I didn't do that right. Wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So we got 5, 4, 2, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then 7. Yes, 7 green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is 7. That is right. We need blue. I was wondering. That didn't look right. So let's bring up our blue. And we are needing 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need our dark blue, which is right here. And bring it up. And we need 2 dark blue. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need 1 regular blue. And we're going to finish this off with 3 yellows, the background colors. Make that loose. I don't want that too tight. There you go. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Alright, we're going to chain 1 and turn for 18. On our way to 30. We're doing 16 through row 30 today. And so we're going to start out with 3 yellow in row 19. And then we need to switch to a blue, a regular blue. And we need, 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we need 2 dark blue. One and 2, and then we need a regular blue again. And we need 3 of those. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need green. We need 7 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we need the 7 yellow. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we need 2 black. So let's pull the black out of there. No, that wasn't. 1, and 2. And then we need orange. Alright, and I've got this little bit darker yellow here. We need 4 yellow. So we did the orange there. Now we need the 4 yellow, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that stitch is a little bit tight. Get in there. And I should have buried some of that tail. I don't want that coming out. Let's bury the tail. Now we can bring these over. We're going back over to orange for 1 orange after those 4 yellows. And then we're going to finish this off with the 4 pale yellows. And as soon as I find the background color yellow that we've been using. Make that loose. Alright. So there's 2, 3, and 4. And it works out. So we've started another butterfly right here, as you can see. And we're starting another Morning Glory too. Alright. So that was 18. Mark it off so I don't get confused of where I am. Alright, so in row 19, we're going to start out with 3 pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need to go to the orange. And I need 1 orange here and 1 yellow. And we're bringing in another color. We're bringing in a gold. But first we're going to put this 1 yellow in right here. And then we need 2 gold. Alright, so there's 1 and 2, and then we're going back to our yellow. Bring that yellow up. And we need 1 yellow. And then we need to go back to our orange. We are needing 3 orange. Assuming I can get into that stitch. Okay, come on. It does not pay to make your stitches too tight. Alright, so there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need the black. And we are needing 2 black. So there's 1 and 2. And then we're going to go to pale yellow. So that means we're going to bring it clear from over here, from the very beginning. Stretch that out. Alright, we are needing 9 of these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we need our green. And we need 3 green. 1, 2, and 3. And then we need blue. 1 blue. Which is right there. And then 3 dark blue. So there's 1, 2, 3. Go back to our blue, and we need 2 blue. 1, 2, and then we need our green back over here again. And we need, okay, when I do that right, 2 blue, no, not the green. What am I thinking? Oh, this ain't right, because I'm looking at the wrong one again. Alright, why do I do that? Hang on a second. It was 1 blue and It's supposed to be 1 dark blue and 3 blue. Yep, I didn't do it right. Alright, so we are at 3 green. Let's finish up this green and start over on this flower. Now I need dark blue. And then our regular blue. And we need 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. And then go back to our dark blue. And we need 2 dark blue. So 1, 2, and then back to our blue. Our regular blue, we need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to end up with 1 pale yellow at the end. So we're dragging that over there. There we go. Alright, so there is row 19 finished. Let's mark that off. Go on to row 20. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to start out with the 1 pale yellow. And then we're going to switch over to blue. And we need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're bringing in our lavender on this one. We need the lavender. So many colors that we're working with. But it's worth it in the end, I believe. Alright. I don't know about you, but I love colorful things. Alright. Now it's a little bit fiddly bringing in those colors, but we need 3 lavender here next. So there's 1, 2, try it again. There's 2 and 3. And then we need our blue again. Leave that lavender there because it ain't going nowhere else. So then we are going to need 1 blue and 2 dark blue. So let's bring that up with us. Okay, come on. Get the dark blue out of there. And And then I say 2 dark blue. So there's 1, 2, and another 2 blue. So 1, 2, and then we need to go to green. And we need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, 3. We need our pale yellow, which is going to have to come across here. And we need 6 pale yellow. So, which is our background color. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we need 2 black. And there's 1 yellow we haven't touched yet. We're going to make sure we put that in black. See, it was hidden. And that's what happened to me before. Alright, so 2 black, 1 orange, and that goes where that black one is. And then we need 3 yellow, so there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need the orange again. So 1 orange, 1 yellow, one gold, one yellow, and 1 orange. And if we did that, did I do that right? So 1 orange, 3 yellow, 1 orange, 1 yellow, 1 gold, and a yellow again, and then an orange. Then we should have 3 left over. Alright, so that's what you should have. I must have missed a stitch over here somewhere. So you will finish this off with the we have this butterfly here, right? The 2 black, the 1 orange, 3 yellow, 1 orange, 1 yellow, 1 gold, 1 yellow, 1 orange, and then you should have 3 pale yellow at the end. And I'm going to go back, but I'm going to go off camera and go back and figure out where I made my mistake. So I will be back for row 21. Okay, so um, the one gold stitch was so small that I did not see it. So you have to, I guess I have to be careful about how small I'm making them stitches. It might have been, anyway, that's what it was. All right. So we're going to start row 21 out with 4 of our pale yellows. And then we need to go to orange. Oh, what am I doing that for? See, I pulled that one too small. And when I come back, I'm going to make sure. I don't want that too small. There we go. All right. You have to be careful how you're pulling your yarns when you're changing colors. So we need an orange. Yellow. 1 yellow. And then back to the orange again. And then we're going to go back to the yellow, and we need 2 of those this time. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need the gold. I'm going to put a gold here. And then a yellow and 2 oranges. And then here is 2 oranges. And then we need a black. Wait a minute, that's not right. We need a pale yellow and a black. Oh, goodness. We need a pale yellow in here. And then a black. A pale yellow. And then we need to go back to the black. And now we need 2 black. And then back to the pale yellow, we need 2 pale yellows. Then we need our green. And we need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we need our blue. And we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need our dark blue. And we need 2 of those. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need this yellow over here. So I am going to just carry it. We need 2 of these yellows. So 1 and 2. And then we need the lavender, and just 1. And then we're going to need a regular blue again. And we need 2 blue. And then 2 dark blue. And then we're going to finish off with 1 pale yellow at the end. Now that's here. And there's what we got for right now. Alright, so that is row 21. Row 22. Alright, chain 1 and turn. And we're going to put a single crochet. We're going to start out with 1 single crochet and then switch over to blue. So we are putting a regular blue here, just 1, and then we need our dark blue. And we need 3 dark blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need our lavender. So it's 1 lavender, and then we need a yellow. As soon as I find the right string. And then back to lavender. So we got the yellow, and then switching back to the lavender. And we need 2 lavender here after that. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. And now we need our dark blue, nope, our regular blue. And we need 4 regular blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need our pale yellow. And we need 1 pale yellow. And then 2 green. 1, 2. And then we're going back to the pale yellow. And we need 4 pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need our black. Alright. So we need 1 black here. And then we're going back to the pale yellow again. And we need 1 pale yellow. And then we need an orange. Alright. So we need an orange. This yellow has to come back over here. So an orange, a yellow, and an orange. And then back to the yellow again for 1 yellow. And then we need 2 gold. So there's 1 and 2, and then 2 yellow, one and 2, and an orange, and then 5 pale yellow. And then this pale yellow coming over here. Oh, and this should finish it up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that finishes that up. Alright, chain 1 and turn. That was row 22, finished. Alright, we'll be back for row 23. I've got too many tangles I need to take care of. I'll see you then. Alright, so we are on row 23, and we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we need to start out with 4 single crochets with the pale yellow. And then we need an orange. So we need an orange, and then the yellow, we need 2 yellows, alright, so there's 1 and 2, and then we need our gold, and we need 3 gold. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going back to the yellow. And we need 1 yellow. And then we need an orange. 1 orange. And 1 gold. Come on. Back to yellow. And back to orange. And then we need the pale yellow. So 1 pale yellow and 1 black. This is our black. And then back to the pale yellow again. And we need 3 pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, Hang on a second. Do that right. 1, 2, 3. And then we need our green, and we need 2 green. So 1 and 2, and then 1 pale yellow, and then we need the blue. We need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then we need our dark blue. We need 1 dark blue, 1 lavender, and then we need 5 blue. Five blue and 1 pale yellow should work. Here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We need to back up because we needed 2 lavenders. Did I say 2 or just 1? All right. I was having a little bit of trouble with that lavender. All right. So when we started the flower, we needed 4 blue, 1 dark blue, and 2 lavenders. So there's 1, 2. Then we need our blue back over here. And now we need 5 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I do? I put that lavender in the same spaces. Dang it. 1, 2. Yeah. Goodness gracious. All right, now we've got it. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we need our pale yellow back over here. Alright, so there, we finished up the feeler on our butterfly. So we're just finishing up the wings up here now for the next few rows. We finished up the yellow over here and the lavender today, this time. So let's Alright, so we are done with that lavender and that black for a few rows. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cut them off. Get rid of some of these colors. So we could chain one and turn, and I like to cut these off long because it's easier to tie them together. Pull that out of there, and cutting off that black too. Until we need it the next time, but it's not going to be for the next few rows. There's no use in carrying, having that back there. Alright, so we chain one and turn for row 24. And we're going to start out with one pale yellow. And then we're going to switch over to our blue. So we are needing 5 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We need a dark blue next. So we'll just pull that up out of there. We just need one dark blue, one regular bow blue, and then two dark blues. So there's 1 and 2, and then we need 3 regular blues. So we got 1, 2, and 3. Then we need 1 green, and then we're going to bring this pale yellow over here, and we need 7 pale yellows before we get over to the butterfly. So there's 1, 2, 3, oh goodness. Alright, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now we just need our orange. This orange is stuck. Alright. So we're switching over to orange. So we need 1 orange, 1 gold, 1 yellow, and then 2 orange. So back to our orange. Two orange. 1 yellow. And 3 gold. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 yellow and 1 orange. One yellow, 1 orange, and we're going to finish this off with 4 light pale yellows. So we're going to bring this pale yellow back up over here, go across this butterfly, and then we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And chain 1 and turn. No, it's getting bigger. Looking good. All right, so we just finished off 24. And now we're going to do 25. And we're going to start out with 4 pale yellows. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need our orange. So we need 1 orange, 1 yellow, and 2 gold. Two gold, then 1 yellow, no, 2 yellow, 1, 2, and then we need 2 orange, 1 and 2, and then we need 1 gold, 1 gold, 1 yellow, 1 orange. So here we go. We got a gold, yellow, and then the orange. And then we need our pale yellow. Carry it over here. we need 5 pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we need a green, and a pale yellow, and a green. So it's green, pale yellow, green, pale yellow. Then we need a blue, alright, so we need 1 blue, and then 2 dark blue, so there's 1 and 2, and 2 regular blue, 1 and 2. Then we need 2 dark blue, again, 1 and 2. Then we need 3 regular blue, and then we'll finish this off with the 2 pale yellow at the end. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll bring this pale yellow over and put 2 pale yellow at the end. So there's 1 and 2. Looking good. All right, so we just finished up 25. Do 26. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to single crochet in the first 3 stitches. So there's 1 with the pale yellow, 2, and 3. And then we need our blue. And we need 1 blue, and then switching over to dark blue, we're going to need 2 dark blue. So 1 and 2, and then we're going to switch over to our regular blue again, and we need 4 of those. One, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 dark blue, one and 2, and then we need our pale yellow again. So we need 1 pale yellow, then we need our green, We need one green. Wait a minute, I did not do that right. That's all right, pale yellow. One pale yellow, one green. Back to the pale yellow again. This time we need two pale yellows. So there's one and two, and then we need a green again. And then we're going to switch over to our pale yellow. And we need four pale yellows. So there's one, two, three, and four. Now we need an orange. And see this orange? It's really, really tiny. I must have really pulled that tight. I've got it. There it is. Wow. That was really tiny. So there's our orange. And then we need a gold, a yellow, and orange. So it's orange, gold, yellow, orange. Next 4 stitches. And these 4 stitches. Gold, where's my yellow at? Was that the, wait a minute, well, I just put the yellow in there, I think, and it's supposed to be gold. Wait a minute, I put the wrong color in there. Alright, here we go. Orange, gold, yellow, and orange. And then we need this pale yellow next. And then we need orange, and 3 yellows, one, two, 3, and an orange. And then 5 pale yellows. Well, first of all, let's bring that orange through there so we can switch off to our pale yellow. Alright, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like we're getting ready to finish up the butterfly. Alright, so chain 1 and turn, and let's see what this looks like. Looking good. All right. So we're just going to switch over here to the other side to row 27. Looks like we're going to be losing some colors. Yay. All right. In the next couple of rows, we're finishing up that butterfly. So, I'm trying to get that to go on there. My goodness. All right. All right, so we chained one and turned, and now we need 6 of our pale yellow to start out with. So there is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we are needing the orange. We are totally done with that gold. All right. So we need 3 orange next. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need our pale yellow. And we need 2 pale yellows. So 1 and 2. And 1 orange. And back to our pale yellow. We need 4 pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we did that right? I don't think we did that right. Nope, we didn't. Yes, there is 1 orange. We need one orange. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, that don't look right. 2 yellow. This ain't gold, right? Where's my, yep, that's the yellow. All right. So it's 1 orange, 2 yellow. My orange go. Finish up this butterfly. 2 yellow and then an orange. Okay, now that makes sense. All right, now we need our pale yellow, and we need 4 of those. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. Now we need our green. And we need 3 green. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then back to the pale yellow. We need 3 pale yellows. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we need a regular blue. We need 5 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we need 2 dark blue. Clear over here. 1 and 2. And then we need 2 green over here. So 2 green and 2 pale yellow is going to finish this off. Yep. 1 and 2. And then we're going to bring our pale yellow over right here. One and 2. That pretty much finishes up that flower as well. So we're almost done. Let's turn this over. Because we are done with the gold and the yellow, and we're going to go ahead and cut them off. We don't need them, pull them out. Alright. Alright, so that was row 27. We're going to chain 1 and turn for row 28. And we're going to start out with 2 pale yellow in row 28. And then we're going to switch over to our green. And then we need 1 green. And then we need to switch back over to the pale yellow again. And we need 2 pale yellows. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need our regular blue. And we need 5 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we need our green back. So we're going to get the green here. And we need 2 green. So there's 1 and 2. And then we need our pale yellow again. So we need 10 pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we are going to need our orange one more time. And we need 2 orange. To finish up our butterfly. So there's 1 and 2, and then we're going back to the pale yellow, and we need 12 pale yellow to finish this off. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Awesome. All right, we are going to cut off that orange. And pull that out of there. Uh-oh. I did cut it off, right? Oh, no, of course it knotted. All right. The butterfly is finished, and so is the flower. Starting a new flower on the next row. All right, so we are going to be back for 29 and 30 here in a few. Okay, so we're back, and we are going to we're on row 29. So we just have 2 more rows on this video. All right. We are going to start out with 21. We need 21 of these yellows, these pale yellows, which is my background color. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. And then we need a light blue. So I'm going to add, there's 2 colors we're adding in, well, only 1 color in this row we're adding in. So we need this light blue. And we need 3 light blue next. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need to bring up our green. switching over to green. We need 6 green. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We need our pale yellow again. I'll switch over to that, and we need 3 yellow, pale yellow. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then I must have skipped a stitch somewhere. Hang on a minute. Make sure, because when I do these color changes, it's really hard to see the stitches. Yeah, I think I skipped one there. Yep. I did. I skipped this stitch right here. Alright. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Then our green. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pale yellow, 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. Then we need 1 green and 2 pale yellows, and that'll finish this off. So 1 green. Oh, wait a minute, I did something wrong. And then there we go. Alright, so that is row 29. And that pretty much, we're starting the new flower, and we're going to be starting the new butterfly here in 30. The other butterfly. Alright, so row 30, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start out with 2 pale yellow. And then we're going to green. And we need 1 green, 1 pale yellow, and one green again. I'm going to put that pale yellow on. Okay. Here's a pale yellow, and now green. Back to pale yellow. And now we need two pale yellow. So there's one and two. And we're switching back to green. And we need two green. One and two. Alright, so we need to find our regular blue, which is right here, and switch to that. And we need two of those. So one and two, and then we need to go back to our light blue. And we need four light blue. So there's one, two, three, and four. Then we need a green. And a pale yellow next. And we need six pale yellow. So there's one, two, three, four, 5, and 6. And so for the next butterfly, I'm doing a dark pink, a light pink, and a red. So we are on the dark pink now. We're switching over to dark pink, so we'll bring that in. Hold on a second. I don't want those two tangled up. Alright, so we need 3 of these dark pinks. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to switch back to the pale yellow. And we need to finish it off with yellow, or 11 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Alright, so there is 30 rows. We just finished those. And we will be back next week for the last 14 rows, I believe. And then we'll work on a border. Okay, so until then, I'm going to take care of my ends in the back, and then I will see you next week for the last of this project. So I hope you guys are having fun with this project. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye now.